frankly, all it does is allow these Republicans to go around and bully any woman who isn't wearing a skirt because they think she might not look woman enough. People have a right to express themselves, to dress how they want, and to be who they are. And if a woman doesn't look woman enough to a Republican, they want to be able to inspect her genitals to use a bathroom. It's disgusting. And everybody, no matter how you feel on this issue, should reject it completely. What are they doing? They're doing this so that Nancy Mace can make a buck and send a text and fundraise off an email. They're not doing this to protect people. They're endangering women. They're endangering girls of all kinds. And everybody should reject it. It's gross. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So the typical response that Democrats tend to have to this anti-trans trash is, at best, call it a distraction and try and move on. But I think it's important to combat this head on the way AOC did here and discuss what this would actually look like in practice. People inspecting genitals. That's what Nancy Mace wants. That's what she is arguing for. How else are you going to enforce this garbage that she wants? So it's important not to just, give ground to these Republican arguments around their anti-trans hysteria, but to actually combat it with the real world consequences of what they're asking for. This gets to Nancy Mace's former communications director. So the New Republic actually brought this to my attention, that they're saying this is essentially a shallow stunt for attention. So some of the tweets, Natalie Johnson is the former communications director, saying here, if you think this bill is about protecting women and not simply a ploy to get on Fox News, you've been fooled. Tweeting 262 times about a bill that applies to like 0.00001% of Congress in 36 hours is definitely about protecting women. It's certainly not just a ploy for media attention. Quote unquote, protecting women in Congress would be introducing a bill to bar Matt Gaetz, a sexual predator with an affinity for underage girls, from ever walking those halls again, rather than dropping a messaging bill that's sole goal is getting on TV. You can tell Natalie Johnson really does not like her former boss. And then people wondering, why are you saying all this stuff? You guys, I live in Wyoming now. My fucks are zero. So Natalie Johnson just letting it fly, letting people know who they're dealing with here. If it wasn't already obvious that Nancy Mace just loves the camera and is doing whatever she can to find it, which goes again, one of my biggest issues with this story is the fact that the media fell into this. That you don't have to give Nancy Mace the camera. If you see trash that is clear, and look, I'm speaking to people that aren't watching me, but anyone that actually cares, that works in the press, that has access to, the airwaves, should know just to ignore this kind of garbage. It's simply a media ploy. By falling into it, you're not having, the real conversations about politics or this is a serious debate. No, you're giving air to a complete bigot. And you're allowing them to platform themselves and their garbage, not just their trash, but also be able to fundraise off their trash by allowing them to generate the kind of media attention that they want. There's no benefit to giving someone like Nancy Mace attention on an issue like this. One of the biggest issues that I run into when researching a story is knowing if I'm getting the full picture. So having quick access to a variety of sources and their political leanings helps out quite a bit. That's why I use Ground News. So Ground News is an app and website that brings together related stories in one place to highlight important perspectives often overlooked in mainstream media. Every story comes with a visual breakdown of the political bias, reliability, and ownership, all backed by ratings from 3 independent news monitoring organizations. For example, when Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy were given the reins to reshape the U.S. federal government, you can see how many sources covered it, along with their political leanings and the overall bias distribution. And then you can actually go and see how differently it was covered depending on the source. Right-wing outlet Breitbart called it the plan to drain the swamp, while left-leaning PBS NewsHour detailed the potential pitfalls. Go to ground.news/Rational National or scan the QR code for 50% off their unlimited access Vantage plan. This is a limited time offer during election season. So this gets to the clip here from Piers Morgan's show. So again, this is the second time this week I've watched Piers Morgan. I did a video earlier this week on Kyle Klinsky's appearance on there. As I said in the past, Piers Morgan I don't think he has an ideology. I mean, clearly I think he's more conservative, but regardless, I think his ideology is to the dollar, which inherently makes him more conservative. But the reason I say that is because he doesn't mind losing every single debate he's in. Like, Piers Morgan looks like an ass again and again and again and again. So he is happy to get his ass beat in the debate if it means his video is going to get 1 million views. But here is Emma Vigeland completely dismantling this trash.
The point is that Hesketh and Gates have categorically denied any wrongdoing, and none has been proven against them. In Trump's case, it was a civil action, as you know, not a criminal action. The criminal case against him was shuffling paperwork over an alleged one-night stand with a porn star. So it's not quite how you categorized it. Deborah Lee, let me bring you in here.
Has this trans lawmaker been accused of rape? Has this trans lawmaker
No, but actually, if you are a congresswoman, if you're a congresswoman who survived sexual assault, you should be entitled to feel safe in the restroom.
The presence of a trans woman in the bathroom. Oh gosh, gosh. You know, here in New York, there are a lot of multi-gender bathrooms, and I've gone to the bathroom next to a man. Oh my goodness, it was so fearful. What was I going to do with the rest of my life? I mean,
if I found you lurking next to me in a men's restroom, I'd feel fearful. Deborah Lee, let me bring you in here. I just think
that is a ridiculous accusation, Piers.
I didn't make an accusation. It was a statement of fact. I would feel fearful.
You would feel uncomfortable? Why would you feel uncomfortable?
If you were lurking around me in a men's urinal, damn right I'd feel uncomfortable.
Lurking? Who's lurking?
Well, what else would you be doing there?
Is this lawmaker lurking?
What else would you be doing there?
Going to the restroom.
I don't want you going to my restroom. Stick in your own restroom. For my safety, never mind yours.
Okay, but would a man be lurking? Would a biological man, is he lurking next to you?
That's the whole point.
Why is there something inherently perverted about going to the bathroom? You right-wingers, and yes, I'm including you in this with this classical liberal BS, are so bad faith. It's incredible. You are linking sexual abuse and sexual assault to trans people inherently, and that is a bigoted statement.
No, I want trans people to have, I want them to have fairness and equality like the rest of us, just not where it erodes women's rights. But Deborah Lee, you've been listening to this patiently.
But separate but equal.
Emma,
separate but equal.
We're four people on the panel.
Piers Morgan is such a fucking clown. Notice how he doesn't actually directly answer Emma Vigeland's point about how about a man? If you're in a men's restroom and there's a man in the bathroom, does that disturb you? Like, why doesn't that bother you? That's just as much of a threat as anything else. It completely dismantles any kind of argument they have about, fear in the bathroom. It's so weird for people to think, well, when I'm taking a shit, the thing I'm worried about most is getting assaulted. Like, what do you, like, what is this mindset that people have to generate to try and justify their anti-trans bigotry? It's so fucking gross. But Emma Vigeland, clearly breaks it down there. Piers Morgan looks like a clown. Like, he'd be afraid of Emma Vigeland in the bathroom. Again, there's no arguments here. It's just complete clownery. Now, I got to end on, actually, I did this for the when Kyle was on Piers Morgan's show, but I want to just show you a part of the intro here. Like, this is how stupid this show is. This is how they intro their episodes.
Who would you like to see run the party now?
Jon Stewart. Honestly, a controversial, charismatic celebrity might make all of the difference.
Possibly the loss would have been worse if Taylor Swift and folks like Oprah weren't working with Kamala Harris.
Although Taylor Swift is popular, obviously she's not that popular because she did not move the needle.
Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut up juice.
Okay, what is this intro? This editing, the music. I jokingly put on here next time on Survivor. I started this clip with the Survivor intro, or this is how, if you're, I'm an old man, so I used to watch Survivor, but this is how they would preview the next episode, and it goes right in line with this kind of editing.
Next time on Survivor.
What's the future of the Democrats? Who would you like?
Like, it's just, Piers Morgan's show treats politics like reality television. It is disgusting the way they turn debates around human rights into debates. I've discussed this before, where he's had endless debates around genocide. One side is pro-genocide, the other side is anti-genocide. How is that a debate? What are you debating? Or debates around trans rights. One side is anti-human rights, the other side is pro-human rights. What is the debate here? trying to generate fake debates